I figured, well, first off, I'd like to talk about how people think I should. I like people say that I should like write out my videos beforehand or various other things. Look into the camera. I don't know. But I like doing things off the top of my head. I like surfing the web while I'm just talking and rambling because that's just fun. But today I would like to talk about something that seems to be very much so in the public eye, and that would be the um, gay marriage, the whole gay marriage thing, um, and more specifically, the um, reaction from people. And this also goes back to something that actually happened in my sociology class today. So pretty much just gonna vent my frustration to you guys. Here's your opinion about it, stuff like that. The first thing I talked about was because we started talking about deviance. Number one, I don't understand how that fits into gay rights, but whatever. I forgot how we started. We decided, okay, whatever. So we started our little conversation about gay rights and all that good stuff. You know, um, and eventually we got to the subject of that, we talked about how people think about gay rights, and I was, we were talking on and on and on about it, and we were talking about, well, since people voted against Proposition 8, even though it was voted against recently, well, not recently, that happened quite a while ago, but how people thought about that, and this really doesn't have anything to do with the actual discussion. But he was an African American man. My teacher's an African American, and we were talking about it. And he said, "Well, lives in society." I can understand where he was going with this. He's trying to make us think outside the box. But we were like, we were talking about how, well, if people voted against it, why should people be able to stand back up against it again? And I was the only one that really stood up and said, well, because we live in a country where, if things get voted against, we can try to go, hey, even though, majority of people think it's wrong, we can still try. We don't live in a communist country or any other kind of country that tries to do things like that, so why? So I was really the only one standing up against that. We started talking, right? And it was doing okay. I could tell he sort of didn't know what he was talking about because he was just running in circles. And, I was like, okay, we're doing the basic civil rights thing. He's an African American. And we started talking about, rights. And I was like, okay, I'm going to bring up the easiest thing. I started talking about African American rights. Very easy. Because that proves that, civil rights, people just went, oh, okay, well, the white man kept us down, so we might as well not try again. That'd be stupid. And we were actually doing that, we were actually talking about that. And then all of a sudden, out of left field, we start going on and on about other things. We went from that and personal private rights, but I mean, a lot of people watching this are going, well, how that transition seems okay, it has to do with rights. But it was just him talking in circles trying to change things. It was just talking in circles trying to change things. At one moment he said he was a conservative person, but he was talking about very anarchist ideals. There was one moment where he was against things and then for them again. And the whole point of this video is not to talk about my sociology teacher having a stupid moment. It's just talking about how school teachers now, it seems that they don't even need to know what they're talking about. I may be young, I may be, a lot of people are going to go, oh, well, you're just a teenager, you don't know anything. But I mean, I'm in the public school system right now. I hear teachers talk about how, it's more about high tax scores. Other than Texas, we have what's called TAX, it's a standardized test that's done every year to certain grade levels. You have to pass it to go to the next grade. And, teachers, a lot of they're judged a lot by whether their kids pass or not. And that's the big thing about how good of a teacher you are. And a lot of these teachers are past the point of teaching actual things, or just teaching you the things that are on the tax so they can keep their job. Which makes sense. You're trying to keep your job, you want to do it the easy way. but it seems that it's just turned into test taking skills more than actual knowledge. And when you start focusing away from actual knowledge and towards actual, ideals, there's a problem going on. There's a thing where you have to just stand back and go, whoa, because a lot of these teachers, this is why a lot of the public school systems fail, because there's so many standardized tests that supposedly show the solution to everything, when they're showing no solution to anything at all. It's just showing that our kids can take tests better. And I'm just wondering, when that entire ideal is going to stop, because kids are allowed to be this way as long as they score good. If you score good on the test, you get more money, so that you get to score good again, which in theory makes them smarter. And it's another way of having those who have get. And we need to reform the school system. I know I'm talking the obvious, I'm preaching to the choir or whatever the phrase is that would best fit the situation. But we seriously do, when teachers don't even know what they're talking about. They're in sociology and they're talking about political things and they can't even fit that. Or when you have a math teacher that's like, we needed to cover this, but we're going to cover it after the 9 weeks test, thing is how it doesn't apply to the tax test, even though it fits the curriculum, and if you teach it well enough, it will help them out. We're starting to turn into a country where we're trying to just do the best thing we can, quick as possible, so that we can look good. We're turning into one of these communist nations that try to purposely do things to show that we're the best. We need to reform schools. We need to actually take a step back and go, we need to change this. And it's not going to happen because nobody wants to do it. But yeah, I just thought I'd put my 2 cents in, rant about something I got pissed off today. Comment, subscribe, everything. You like me, cool. If you don't, I don't know what to do for you. Keltothekilleron signing off.